Alrighty, as always, gotta figure out, am I doing it right? Let's take a look. I see no fun is being had. Indeed, Soapy. Indeed, how's it going? Indeed, if you can hear me, that is, I've got to figure out if my voice is actually working, as always, because I am unprofessional as can be. Not as can be. And also, my internet cut out for a brief second of time there. So once again, I gotta check. Is everything all honky dory? Alrighty, perfect. After a few hiccups, I am good to go there, and I am checking some things. So, as I get things all situated nice and tidy here, how's it going? How's it going? I am getting some stuff prepared in for not only my West Marches game that I'm going to be hosting for all y'all. All good, perfect. How's it going, Overboard? In addition to that, I've also got some things I need to update for the West Marches game. So let's figure all that out, shall we? Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Okay. Has the game started already? No. So I was originally going to start this week, but then my schedule got a little bit jacked up. I will know my full schedule tomorrow. I'll learn all that out. So that'll be good to go there. And then I'll start running the games. Is it play by post? No, it is. In fact, it'll be done through the Discord. So if you join my Discord, I've got all the information up, and I'm going to be adding some more information today as well. But this is a full blown. I'll schedule a session. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to host this session on July 30th at so and so this specific time. Who's down to play? You show up. We play that session. That session's anywhere between like 2 to 4 hours, presumably. And then after that session, you return back to town, and that's the end of the story. And then you keep on repeating that over and over until you win. But there will be some activities to be done in between the sessions. Like there will be a sort of play-by-post nature to it in regards of in the beginning, you guys are going to be like nameless losers. As all good adventures start off, you are a nameless loser. But then eventually you will get some gold, and you will be doing some things in the downtime. Like, that could be you building things in the dungeon, you building things in town. Maybe you want to start up your own little faction. Whatever it is you do in the meantime, that's totally cool, and I'm totally down for it. But obviously it's going to take a little bit to get there. Alrighty, so looking through. Okay. I've ran a lot of play-by-post Discord West Marches. Yeah, I do think play-by-post is a fantastic way to go, especially because you can get a large number of people. But I've played in several play-by-post, and my results are mixed, much like every other game I've been in. The results are mixed. And also, I should not have been showing all that stuff in my background there. Probably should have been doing something different with that window. Whatever. Yeah, so like I've been in play-by-posts that were fantastic. Everyone's engaged. Everyone's super having fun with it. And then I've been in play-by-post where after a tiny bit of time, like it just boils down to like 3 people doing the same thing over and over. And that's not fun if you want to get like a large number of people. But I mean, that's pretty much like every game, right? You're going to run some games and it turns out to suck, and you run some games and it's going to be great. What was I gonna add here? I was looking at something. I'm telling you, only having one monitor just really sucks. They were voice games sometimes too, of course. They're like 89% play by post. That's cool. That's cool. Trying to remember all my play. I think I've only ever been in play by post that were truly like 100% play by post. Like there was no voice to them whatsoever. I'm trying to recall. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'm pretty sure. But that being said, as I'm looking through, I'm going to be updating the Discord here because I'm going to be adding the downtime activities little hub of things you can do. So in between the sessions, you'll play in your session, you do your thing, but then in between sessions, you'll have a downtime activity, and that'll infer of what your character gets up to. Finally made it to the start of the stream. How's it going, Tracy? Welcome. So there'll be a list of downtime activities. I currently have 6 listed. Ended up running a 20 PC combat event. Woo! Yikes. Gotta use all that YouTube money to get a second monitor. I'll tell you what. I would love to sit here and say that YouTube brings home the bacon. I would love to say that. That being said, that is not the case. I wish it were so. The highest number of players I've ever ran a combat for using 5th edition was 11 players, I want to say. And but I got really lucky because they kept on in that one particular session that I ran. They kept on going up against things that like would just one-shot people, so like immediately a bunch of people would be out of the fight. Like I remember their first combat was Banshee, and it screamed, and 6 of the players fell down to 0 HP. So it really helped out with, there was going to be 11-player combat, but now it's just down to like 4. So I'm going to be updating the Discord now with downtime activities. So the 6 I currently have are as follows. You'll be able to read them if you click the like button. Absolutely, Roost. I agree. Click that like button. Smash it. Do it now. Yeah. How's it going, the Roost? So the 6 downtime activities, as of this current moment in time, are as follows. You can purchase a rumor. And when you purchase a rumor, that'll give you some insight to the dungeon, some adventure, something at hand. 2, you can improve your stats for X amount of gold, which will be listed. You can improve a stat by 1. However, that cannot go above 16, and the price exorbitantly goes up every time you do it. 3, you can gain XP. For spending gold, you can gain that much XP. That being said, if you do this, you can unfortunately incur the wrath of something terrible. If you roll too good on your XP roll, then you'll be forced to make a save, and if you fail that save, then something bad could happen to you. That could be, you go to earn some XP, your arm gets broken. You go to earn some XP, and then all of a sudden you've got a rival in town. Any number of things. Caress the like button, absolutely. Number 4, you can scribe a scroll. If you're a spellcaster, for 500 gold per level, per spell level, you can create a spell scroll of a spell that you know. Number 5, guild activities. Depending on your individual guild that you join, your guild will have individual downtime mechanics tied to them. What those are tied to those different guilds. So I can't say for each individual guild because there's 10 of them. And lastly, 6, your own prerogative. Do you want to make a new building? Do you want to build a bridge? Do you want to start a stronghold? Do you want to part-time at the orphanage? Whatever it is, you just tell me, and then we'll make it work. Simple as that. So let me update the Discord right meow with that. As we text downtime activities. And then that there. And make it so y'all can't talk in here. Perfect. You can read, but you cannot write. Downtime activities. Boom. Do you want to build a snowman? I mean, come on. Let's just go outside and play, shall we? I can't remember the rest of the song. It has been absolute ages since I've watched that. Absolute ages. Also, did I activities? I misspelled activities. I said activities. Boom. And also, why the frick am I getting things on Discord? Bold assumption about my reading level. True. True. Alrighty, so with that, I've got the majority of the things in the Discord down. I've got the character creation rules, the classes available, the session structure. I've got the 10 guilds, the guild advancement system, the loot distribution, exploration rules, the game invite, the downtime activities. The only thing really left I need to do to add to the Discord is I'm going to add a section where people can add their own drawn maps. Because the thing about this West Marches game is that you, the players, are going to be exploring this dungeon. The map will not come from me. I do have a map of the dungeon. It is my dungeon. But I'm not going to show that to y'all muckaluckas. I want to see your guys' interpretation of the world that is being shown to you. I want to see how you guys drop this map. Because for reference, the campaign map, I have it drawn up as a hex grid. You know, this is a hex crawl sort of campaign inside of a mega dungeon. But I want to see how you guys interpret it, and that'll be great because multiple people go out and multiple people drop different maps. Exploration question. I've got an exploration answer. Retracted. Retracted. You're done. The message is deleted. But I got eagle eyes. I saw that. I saw that as I was tabbing through all my multiple tabs here. But if you do have a question, I am absolutely all ears for that. I am down to answer any and all your desires. Want to find me some hex girls? I mean, I don't think anyone doesn't want to find some hex girls. Let me tell you. I'd be very, very sad to hear if people were not down to find some hex girls. Yeah. The guild quests are going to be are also another thing that's going to be coming, so I might as well create some channels right now for those guild. Actually, I'm going to hold off on making the guild quest channel for now. I think there's going to be something different to it. Alrighty. Oh, exploration question. Sorry, I didn't mean to send that. How far away from the town does the exploration start? Do we have to wander for a week into the caverns, or are we literally opening a door? Yeah, so actually that's something I also need to add. Thank you for reminding me. Is the hook of this campaign. So ultimately, what I'm gonna write this, or I do have it written up. Let me see if I actually do have the write up here. If I have it on me. I feel like I've written it down. I feel like I've written it down somewhere. Because I'd want to like post it up and then tell you and then kind of take you through this. But this'll play like the campaign hook will tie into the exploration question here. I have one written down for if you are running this as the GM, is what it looks like. Yep. Yeah, I've got a campaign lead in, so that is not for players' ears. So basically, long story short, the lead up for this adventure is as follows: you, alongside literally thousands of others, find yourselves at the bottom of a dungeon. Why is that? That is because you just happen to be traveling along a long stretch of road called the King's Road. It's just a regular everyday road that everyone uses. Humongous stretch of road. It's not just a single lane. There's multiple lanes that spark out from the various kingdom. These roads stretch for hundreds of miles in all sorts of various directions. And it just so happens that you and everyone else that's been teleported to the bottom of this dungeon all have something in common. You all were traveling along the road, and then all of a sudden, inexplicably, you were teleported to the bottom of a dungeon. When you teleport to the bottom of the dungeon, you look around, and you realize that you're in a cavernous area, a large cavernous area with large ceilings, lights brimming up on the ceilings. They're like fungal lights. And as you look around, you're surrounded by ruins. You're surrounded by large overgrowth, and in the distance there, you can see the makings of a town. So you and everyone else head to that town. It's only a few miles away. It's approximately like 3-ish miles away from where you entered. And you now arrived at the town of Little Hope. This town of Little Hope has been here for dozens of years, as many people, much like yourselves, all the dozens of other people you've teleported to the bottom of this place with over the course of time, have made this place their home. Your campaign start is in Little Hope, and you are now just trying to figure your way out of here. The exploration will be literally the millisecond you leave town. As soon as you leave town, you're exploring the world. So what I will tell you is, in regards of the traveling, it doesn't take a week to get to the adventure location. No, you're immediately in the adventure location. But exploring the area will take time. Like, what I will say is there has been expeditions and adventurers before, but you, i.e. the players, are the first like real go-getters to really shake this dungeon up. You are the first real ones exploring, but there have been people who've done it before, and they tell you that this place is massive. From what everyone can infer, you are at the bottom of this large dungeon, and there is in fact some way to climb up the dungeon somewhere around in this area. And this place, it's going to take, you can travel around for days, essentially. Once again, I'll have a full write-up of this for the player's eyes, to really invoke yourself in here. But to evoke that, let me go ahead and show off the map of Little Hope. That is the only map I'm ever going to be providing for you all, because every other map will be made by the players. 60 by 60. Let's try that. Let me grab that. Walking 20 minutes and fighting. Gotta get the van and the gang together to find the Hex Girls. Yeah, you do. Dungeon of the Mad Mage, it is far grander in scale than Dungeon of the Mad Mage, is what I'll say. Here's Little Hope. There's Little Hope here, essentially. Yeah, that's kind of the running joke is you're in the town of Little Hope because there is Little Hope. Let me export this map because I somehow haven't done that yet. Where is that exporty button? It is the one that says export. Perfect. Venture prep. Alrighty. Now to there. Open that up. Didn't mean to open up there. Gosh darn it. Adventure prep. Way longer down. Little up. Well, that's going on. I'm so close. I'm almost there. Promise, it's just taking some time. I'm just really bad at this. What else? What else? So, I need to make a little checkbox of like the things I need to get to doing on this thing. Alrighty, perfect. Got that. Alrighty, Little Hope. How many more? 1, 2, 3, 4 more off. Do 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Oh my gosh. I think my DPI on my freaking mouse got adjusted. I feel like it's moving so much quicker now. Okay, now I gotta do this. Go over here. Go to this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's a little zoomed in here. Let me. Alrighty, so what you see behind me, and I guess I'll move me while I'm at it. Golly. So bad at this. No, there we go. Alrighty, so what you see right here, this is the town of Little Hope. You're just at the bottom of this place. This place was a dwarven ruin of some repute, completely empty, and everyone that's teleported to the bottom of this place is now encapsulated in it. There is a whole bunch of modernish buildings and a fusion of different types of building, because one, there's a whole bunch of different people showing up to the bottom of this dungeon. Two, they're typically working with the resources that they had on them, like people were moving lumber, people were moving whatever materials, and then they use the materials that they have on hand, and then they build all these types of buildings, and you live here now. So it is what it is. And also, what the frick? There we go. Hello, I've been running Curse of Strahd for a year now. Just wanted to thank you for your videos. They really help breathe life into Barovia and its horribly wonderful NPCs and story arcs. No problem, David. Happy to help. That's why I did that series. That's why I toiled away at the 51 videos for Curse of Strahd, because that was a monumental feat. There's a face in the middle of the map. I know I should have gotten rid of that. Yo, man, good to see you. How you doing? The Lord's work. Thank you, Knick-Knack. Thank you. Thank you so much. I am proud and happy that I was able to give people, you know, the help that they sought. And it sucks because I would love to work with Wizards of the Coast and be the module guy, as it were. Because from what I can gather, I am like the most module-driven, YouTuber. There has been some others, but I definitely like saw that I was one of the more proactive ones. So I would love to like work with Wizards of the Coast and offer some, voiceover work. Because fun fact, I get a lot of people that tell me that, one, I've gotten a bunch of blind people that said, hey, having you talk about this area really evokes it, helps it come to life. So that's really great. I've got a lot of people that are ADD or ADHD to some repute, and just having me on the background is a great way to, think about the adventure without having to sit there and monotonously read. So I think there's a niche that Wizards of the Coast is not providing for people, and I think that'd be great if I could be that guy. I don't think Wizards of the Coast would ever do that, though. I doubt it. Is what it is, though. Any plans to do Vecna? Unfortunately, that's not on the cards as of this current second. So what I'll say is, when it comes to my adventure module series, I typically cover the adventures that have a bit more sandboxy nature to them, because they are, they there's a lot of ways to approach a sandboxy adventure, but with some of the newer adventures, they have not been sandboxy, and in fact, they haven't even been railroady. Some of the new adventures have been roller coaster style adventures, and what I mean by that is, I mean that you talk to NPC A. NPC A tells you to go to Area A. Then from Area A, you go to Area B, and there's no delineation. There's no changing that. So I haven't felt the absolute urge to help people along with these adventures that are just, going down a straight, solid road. But, if there is demand for it, then I would. But I don't know how much of demand there is. What are my thoughts on Vecna? So I did a video on the Vecna adventure, and you can check that out. But long story short, I'm not a fan of it. I think that there's some problems that need addressing in regards of how Wizards of the Coast should be approaching adventure design, and I don't believe that Vecna was a great highlighting of how an adventure should be written. You can do voices on Fiverr. I have not even looked at that. I don't even know if I've ever even seen what Fiverr is. I've heard of Fiverr. I know that it's like a what do you call that thing? Like you can hire people out to do things, but I've never really checked it out. So let me check that out. What service are you looking for today? Let's voice acting. Let's take a look. Seeing a bunch of people showing off their goods. Golly, there's people that are charging a hefty sum. Woohoo! Let's take a look. $110 for 125 words. $80 for 100 words. Wow, people are charging money for words these days. That is impressive. And these people that I'm looking at, like the ones I'm just talking about right now, like $30 for 100 words, $60 for 150 words. These people are apparently top rated. So there is a demand for it. Mamma mia. I'll check out the Vecna video you did. Thanks, man. No problem, Nick. Side gig website. I might have to add that to my repertoire here, because that might be something worthwhile. I'm also probably going to get into paid GMing as well. Mind you, this West Marches game will not be paid for at all. It'll be completely free. However, if you give me $100, I will give you a free level up. I will shill out for that. This is a gotcha machine, absolutely. If you pay me $100, I will absolutely give you a free level up. That's the end of story. I don't care. I'm willing to sell out. But other than that, it'll be completely free. Sandbox or modular is the way to go for sure. Adaptive to what the players add is even better. Linear storytelling is bland. That is the unfortunate truth is when I run a sandbox, part of not even part, I think the majority of the enjoyment I get out of running a sandbox is not knowing how the heck it's going to end. Not knowing what the heck's going to happen in the middle, right? And that is fantastic. The unfortunate issue is when it comes to a lot of the more, some of the more linear, not even some, like the all of the linear adventure modules coming out of 5e is I read the adventure and I know exactly what's going to happen. Were I to run it completely rules as written, of course. Like, obviously I can sit there and change up everything, but, that's, that's every adventure, right? You can change up any adventure, but, running it purely close to as written as possible, the linear adventures, what's going to happen, and that takes away a lot of the enjoyment out of it. Will you run it on PF2 for $100? I wouldn't run this adventure on Pathfinder 2, but I'm not opposed to Pathfinder 2. My issue with Pathfinder 2, and I say issue, this is going to apply to literally every game system ever, is that the system dictates the theme, tone, setting, and feel of a campaign. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is you can take the same exact adventure and run it with 5 different game systems, and you're going to get 5 different tone, themes, and feels of that adventure, right? And Pathfinder 2, it plays into the high fantasy. And I'm not just talking like high fantasy, I'm talking about like it's playing crazy high fantasy, right? This adventure is not crazy high fantasy. I'm not opposed to Pathfinder 2, but if I were to run an adventure for a setting, I want the setting and the feel and tone that I want out of the game to align with that system. Okay, here's 2K, Raffle. Perfect. You know what? You want a 20th level character? Go ahead. Let's go. Starting off the game, everyone else is level 1, scrounging for everything, and you just have a 20th level character. You're like, okay. I didn't like the Pathfinder 2 rule set that much, and that's understandable. I think Pathfinder 2 definitely is a niche, and that is honestly the issue with all tabletop role-playing game systems, is that they are all niche. Every single one of them. Even 5th edition is niche, right? But the thing is that D&D just so happened to have the name of a franchise that has been going around for 50 years, and the only real name in tabletop role-playing game that's lived in the zeitgeist for as long as it has, and thus 5e rose to prominence. 5e does what it does. Pathfinder does what it does. I don't oppose any tabletop role-playing system natively. But, is what it is. Have I seen Shadow Dark? Yes, I have. I have indeed. Shadow Dark is, just an OSR-ish vibe on 5e, which I completely agree with. I like Shadow Dark. I haven't gotten it to the table myself. I've been a bit too preoccupied by other tabletop role-playing game systems. But I like Shadow Dark from what I've seen. I've watched other people play it. I just personally haven't gotten it to the table, but me personally, I don't know if I'm going to get it to the table anytime soon because I'm busy with other things, and I'm also working on my own systems, and I'm working on my own homebrews for the systems that I'm already playing. So I don't know if Shadow Dark will be able to fit at my current tables right now, but I like it. It's just, unfortunately, I have only got so much time in the day. If I could clone myself so I could run more games for more people, then Shadow Dark would absolutely be in the lineup. That's for sure. That is for sure. So yeah, now that I've got this thing here, let me... Can you explain what West Marches is? If you have done that a bunch already, a quick synopsis would be totally okay. No, so West Marches is as follows. The concept of a West Marches game is that one or multiple DMs can run for many people using the same world. So the best way to think of this would be, real quick, is if I'm a DM, I've got 10 players, but I'm not going to run for 10 people at a time because that's ludicrous. Or at least it's ludicrous nowadays. Back in the day, people used to do it all the time. But if I got 10 people I want to run for, and I want to run in the same game world, here's what I do. I say, hey, players, I'm going to run a game on Tuesday night. Who wants to play? And then 5 of the players raise their hands and said, oh, yeah, I'm free, Tuesday night. So 5 of the players show up. Then, during that session, my players go off on an adventure. And when they do, it's a fun time. They slay the baddies, they get the gold, and by the end of the session, they return back home. And that's the important part. They return back home because the next time I go to run a session, I need to be able to get anybody as part of that 10-man group to be able to play again. So we run that Tuesday session, and then I say, okay, I'm going to run a game on Friday. Who's down to play? 5 players raise their hand. 2 of those players were from the Tuesday group, but I've got another 3 new people. And now we go off on an adventure. They beat the baddies, they get the gold, they return back home, and we repeat process. The idea of a West Marches game is to incorporate a lot of people into a shared world, shared environment, and allow it for players that have irregular schedules to play, allow for DMs to run for multiple people, and not have to have a super duper meticulous story-driven world. It is a fantastic way to play. And I'm doing this for this group here, for my Discord. If you've joined my Discord, you'll see I've got a bunch of things up on it, and you'll be able to join and play. Is that I'm going to be solo DMing this, and I'll be running sessions all over the place, and I'll be getting as many people in as possible, and it'll be a fun time. I just got all my stuff from Kickstarter for Tanaris, including their 5e RPG setting. Looks good, but is another 5e variation. I am unfamiliar with Tanaris. Is that the... I think I've heard of Tanaris as the... is that the caveman one? D&D... Is that the caveman one? Because I'm remembering a caveman thing. No, Tanaris is not the caveman thing. Missed the campaign. Oh, hey. It's got some names I recognize here. Ed Greenwood, Amy Vorpal, Treant Monk. Is this like a 5e plus kind of thing where they just like just have a whole unique like system built on top of 5e? Is that what's going on here? Campaign source book. Add-ons. There's a lot going on with this product, I can tell. There's a lot going on with it. Everyone is making their own system, LOL. West March is the Justice League. I am making my own system. I'm making several systems, but they're not going to be as grandiose as some of my contemporaries like DC20 and all that. They're going to be more simple in nature. Which system? Nice. Which system are you using for this individual system? Or for this one, this is using Old School Essentials. This is using basically a version of first D&D first edition. However, there is some homebrew rules attached to it. And if you want all the deets on that, then join the Discord. You can find out a whole bunch of the information there. But it is... The reason why I'm doing this is because 5e would be a bit too heroic and large and charge in scale versus what I want the tone and theme of this adventure to be. I want this adventure to be a bunch of losers that rise to prominence. I don't want this to be, people starting off strong and getting stronger. I want this to be, people working together and getting powerful through team play versus, individualistic nature that 5e sometimes kind of builds. Not that 5e always builds individual signature, but it definitely can lead or lean there more often. Sweet mug, it is a sweet mug. Philly, how's it going? This is the Prancing Pony. I totally dig this mug. So lots of one shots with the pool players, but all in the same town. Yeah, pretty much. So the idea of West Marches, the idea of the idea that originally started with, well, I mean, it's probably been done since the beginning, but the real term of it came from the player starting in a town, and to the east was civilization, and to the west was the wild. So the idea of that campaign was the players go out and explore the unknown, diving into the unknown. They're marching to the west. It is a West Marches, and there's been many variations on that. I myself have done that. I've done a West Marches where it is you start off in a town and you explore off to the side, and that's the end of the story. This West Marches in particular, this one is you're at the bottom of a dungeon and you're trying to explore this dungeon and find a way out of the dungeon. There's an overarching goal other than just exploring. The overarching goal is escaping and surviving and leading the survivors to safety. DD5e, I made it from a bunch of great D&D people. That's cool. Oh well, I totally thought it was 5e. Not quite. I'm gonna be making a whole video about this when I've ran like a session or two and try and get more people in. But once again, tomorrow I'm gonna be finding out my schedule, and that'll be a good time. You have definitely made it sound like you have a ton of Mega Dungeon ready to be explored. After some number of months or years, would you consider releasing it? Absolutely. So here is the problem. As I'm not scrolling, I'm doing something very, very important here on my phone because I have to answer a certain summons of some repute. Where is it? Where is it? Oh my gosh, here we go. Alrighty. Yeah, so I'm working on a whole bunch of things. I've got several mega dungeons that I've got a lot of writing in. I've got several just regular dungeons I've got a lot of writing in. I've got, systems that I'm working on. I've got a bunch of different projects that I'm working on. Here is the problem. No person will ever buy a product that is 100% text. No one, right? And, that is just the sheer, end all be all of it. I'm trying to think of like the most recent Kickstarters here. Like, let me take a look at Kickstarter here so I can tell you all about it here. Kickstarter. There's a smorgasbord. That's pretty cute. Alrighty, well, I'll just click on the first one I saw here. There is a TTRPG plushie thing that just came out. And immediately I'm being evoked by all this art. Art galore. Just art for days, art for days. And I know for a fact, mind you, the thing I'm looking at garnered $158,000, and it still has 14 days left to go on that Kickstarter. I need art in order to sell my text. My text is 100% worthless. I could literally write the best adventure module ever made of all time in human existence. I could create the best tabletop role-playing game system all time in human existence. But guess what? If I try to sell those products with no cover art, with no sexy art, with no beautiful art, with no nothing art, just literally just all you see is text, it doesn't matter how good it is, it's going to suck. Now, first off, I'm going to tell you that my products are not the best things ever made of all time in human existence. They're the second best. I'm not shooting for the number one spot, but I'm shooting for the number two spot, and that's okay. So, ultimately, my plan is, Tracy, is that I've got a bunch of these things written up. I'm going to finalize a bunch of them through my text, and then I'm going to hire artists, and I'm going to hire a bunch of artists and get the job done. Then my plan from then, after I've gotten a bunch of the artists to work, is then I start kicking off all these Kickstarters and maybe even start my own shopping site if the financials line up. The thing about this, about all these, like the art though, is that art costs money. And as you are probably more than well aware, AI art is a witch hunt in the tabletop role-playing game community. If you feature any AI art whatsoever, you will be shunned, you will be branded, you will be marked, and you cannot do that. So I do have to hire artists, and artists cost money, and artists take time. So yeah, that's I just need time and money. My projects that I just need to sit down, buckle down, I'll be good to go on many of my projects. I just need the artist. Are you going to do a 5-minute video so I can send to friends to see if they'd be interested? I don't know if it's going to be 5 minutes. It's going to be some minutes. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't made the video yet, but I will be making a video on it. I'll just be introducing the concept for this, West Marches, and then I'll be inviting everyone. I don't know if it'll be 5 minutes. Maybe it will be. It'll be anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes is what I'll tell you. But yeah, when I make the video, you can absolutely send it to the homies. Artists on Fiverr. I'm actually curious how much artists cost on Fiverr, because I've talked to several artists and I know their rates. So let's take a look. I mean, I'm seeing some good stuff here. I'm seeing some real good artists here. And, yeah. The ultimate thing, too, with the artist is when it comes to the art for the specific product, it needs to be consistent. Right? Like if you make an adventure module, like looking at Wizards of the Coast, for example, not all the art is done by a single human being. I'm actually curious about that. Let me just double check here. Books. Like how many artists worked on the monster manual, let's say? Oh my sweet lord. Looking at the monster manual, there are dozens of artists. Dozens. And the only way you can have that consistency is to have an art director. Because I am not qualified to be an art director. The only thing I'm qualified to say is I want to look cool. It's funny, I know someone very well who's an artist, but I could not tell them how to draw what I envision in my head. Right? Like, I'm sure that's what an art director is for. An art director is probably the person that I would say, hey, I want this castle to look like, this and this. And then the art director would be like, okay, so here's how we, interpret this. Right? So yeah, that would, I'll probably have to talk to that artist to find out what's up with that. But, yeah, I'll need a bevy an artist. Can you team up with a 3D miniature artist on my mini factory that fits your game? Then you can use their miniature sculpts in your books and give DMs that like tabletop specific monsters you've made. It'd be cool to find someone that fits your style or theme of your campaign. Absolutely. If when I go to do those Kickstarters, it would be absolutely dope for adventure modules in particular to have a thing of selling 3D miniatures alongside them. I think that'd be fantastic. Especially also if I, when I do my good old fashioned when I go more in line with my tabletop role playing game systems, having miniature lines for that too would be badass. Absolutely. It's gonna take some time though. It's gonna take some time. The art director gives assessment and direction during the concept art thumbnail phase of creation. Yeah, I probably would absolutely need some sort of director in my life. As a solo person, you need to be able to eventually convey what you want. Yeah, and that's my issue is I don't have any experience with that right now. I will eventually get said experience. You're an indie developer, exactly, right? Like I don't have the people, as it were. And also showing off the town here again. Yeah, so my main problem is I just don't have the expertise yet. I definitely do want to. I'm going to be getting more involved in that pretty soon here. Now that my content creation line here is going up much greater, I'm able to interact with some people. I'll be able to, in fact, and also very importantly, is I'm talking to some of the content creators as well. Like for example, as Dungeon Coach. I'm seeing what makes a Kickstarter tick, as it were, and that's very helpful. And I'll be talking to many others as well. I've been involved in some Kickstarters, but never in any like official capacity. And not official capacity, I should say. I've never been involved in a Kickstarter where where I was doing the things for that Kickstarter. I've only ever been involved in Kickstarters where I wrote up for their adventures or whatever. But I definitely need to find out how the sausage gets made. I need to not just watch movies. I need to see what they see behind the camera, and that'll be fun. That'll be nifty. That's awesome. I'm glad you and Coach are talking. I'm excited about DC20. A lot of people are. In fact, actually, let me double check right now. What is DC20 looking at now? Last time I checked, it was doing hella good, and I'm assuming it's doing even hella better. Ladies and gentlemen, between 16,808 backers, DC20 has earned itself $1,782,452, and there are 4 more days to go. And I know for a fact that there's usually some last-minute desperate clicks because people think to themselves, I'll put it on the back burner, and then with less than 24 hours left, they're like, I'll buy it. So I imagine that number is going to go up just a little bit more. But regardless, that's doing well. That is doing neat-o. Insert just do it meme. Indestructible and their viewers are joining. I'm getting raided. Oh, goody. How's it going? How is it hanging, everybody? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I am going to be finding out how the sausage gets made in the tabletop role-playing game sphere. And also, Indestructible here is also need a programmer, Keck. I don't know about programming, but Indestructible is going off with their own tabletop role-playing game as well. Hey, how's it going, Humble? How is it going? Hey, howdy, hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. So, looking through here. Looking through, looking through. Haha, thanks for the shout out. Yeah, I'm definitely going to once I get to my position of pumping out content specifically for my tabletop role playing game and my adventure modules that I'm cooking up. I'm definitely going to hassle and harass everyone that I know that's ever even remotely touched it, which of course includes you. It's a good day. I hope you are doing well. I'm doing fan-frickin-tastic, Humble. Today has been a great day in the day of me. It has been a fantabulous day. You know, once you get older, when you wake up and you don't wake up with back pain, it's already out. You're off to a great start. When you do your hard workout for the day of doing that one sit-up, getting out of bed, you feel great. You know, so that's always just, you know, a fan-frickin-tastic way to start. And also, if you can't tell, I found some suspenders in my closet that were collecting dust, so I'm trying them out, and I might turn into a suspender wearer. I might just have to. Until everyone, like, maybe I'll go for that. What's that? Oh my god, what's the character from? There's a character from Jujutsu Kaisen that wears. It's I think his name is Nanami. Nanami JJK. There's a character from an anime that wears suspenders, and he looks pretty cool. But he looks cool for more than just the suspenders. But hey, those suspenders could help me out a long way. You need more fiber. Maybe. The blonde guy, yep. Blonde guy, cool glasses. Exacerbated by all the loud people surrounding him in his life, absolutely. The guy with the wrapped up hatchet, absolutely. And it's funny because as you get older, watching anime, your viewpoint starts to shift, right? Because when you're young, you think to yourself, boy, you know, characters like Naruto and the main character of Jujutsu Kaisen, you're like, man, these plucky guys that are loud and obnoxious but doing cool things, I agree with them. They're awesome. But then getting older, you look at their mentor characters, and then you think to yourself, like, man, I feel so bad for these mentor characters having to deal with these loud, obnoxious brats, you know? And that's just so funny. You know, for example, looking at SpongeBob, I think, is more universal. Is youth is agreeing with SpongeBob, age is agreeing with Squidward. You know, once you get older, you're like, man, you know, imagine having to deal with SpongeBob and Patrick as your neighbors. Imagine having to work with SpongeBob all day. Like, you start to feel bad for the guy. I should be getting Broken Weave from Crucible 7 soon. It's yet another 5e setting, but it's very gritty and unique about magic. You should look it up sometime. I will. Kaiju number 8 hits close to home, huh? Yes, it does, Humble. Yes, it does. Literally, it was so perfect. So there was an episode of Kaiju number 8, and for those of you that don't know, Kaiju number 8 is about a 30-year-old guy who starts working for the military, or he's trying to join the army, and it was so perfect. I woke up a day with back pain. I was like, oh god, my back hurts, and I flip it on, and in that episode, the guy's like working out with the army, and he goes, oh, my back hurts, and and I'm like, oh my god, this is so perfect. In the SpongeBob 28, I think SpongeBob's old. I can't remember, but I definitely know SpongeBob's not like a kid, but he's just like obnoxious and acts like a kid. Kaiju number 8 is a good show, though. I'm digging it so far. it is unfortunate that the anime market is plagued by plucky 15-year-old boys, and like that's like 90% of main characters, because in Japan's point of view, they think that like a bunch of people, like that's the biggest demographic of people that watch anime. So it is fantastic when you do get adult aged characters and adult aged situations and things of that nature, and it Kaiju number 8 thankfully helps out with that. It's not just a bunch of dumb kids. That being said, though, one of the main characters is a 16-year-old girl, but other than that, all the other characters are adults to some degree or fashion, especially the main character. Alrighty, so looking once again at the Guilds and Gargoyles thing, if you are interested in joining this West Marches, join my Discord. You will find a link to this game that I'm looking at right now, and you can roll up your character. I will be posting up game sessions next week, and I'll be getting you guys in the game. It'll be a great time. If you're looking for a casual West Marches game to join, where it's you get to play the game and you don't have to worry about a set schedule, then feel free to join. The reason why West Marches are such a fantastic way to play the game is because a lot of people have shifting schedules. Howdy, y'all. What did I miss? Not much, Conrad. Just talking about getting old and back pain and all that fun jazz. But the reason why West Marches are such a great thing is because I personally have a rotating schedule. I do not have a thing of, I'm always available, Tuesday night at this time. I don't have that schedule. And unfortunately, D&D is typically gated by having a set schedule, right? A lot of people that play D&D are always say the game time is this day, this time, consistently. And unfortunately, I don't have that life, and a lot of people don't. So sometimes D&D just isn't in the realm of possibility for people with rotating schedules, right? And that's why West Marches is so fantastic. It lets you play in a game when you normally can't. And that's so great, right? So I'm looking forward to y'all hopping in and joining and playing some games here, because it's going to be a great time. There's also another thing too of like, when you join like when you have your friends game, your core game, your group game, you have that sense of camaraderie between the on average the four of you. But there is also something really unique about joining a big project, right? Like, there is a lot of time where you feel a sense of awe when you are playing in a game with a bunch of other people. You're enjoying a piece of media with a bunch of other people. And it's great. Time to read a bedtime story to the kiddo. Have a great evening, everyone. See you later, Tracy. Looking forward to running the games with you. I'm running a hardcore 5e Curse of Strahd campaign starting Saturday. Heck yeah! Funnily enough, Soapy, there actually is a YouTuber who just recently, I think in the past month, started a hardcore Curse of Strahd campaign. Let me see if I can find it for you, but if there's any inspiration for that, you could look into that. Hardcore Curse of Strahd. I just hit my caps lock, gosh darn it. Yeah, this YouTuber here. Let me find the... Here we go. And this YouTuber, my God, I haven't watched any of their stuff. Like they came onto my radar recently. But this YouTuber, World of Ioverse, they are nearly at 80k subs. They get really good views for being a Let's Play channel. Which, mind you, Let's Play channels traditionally do terribly because most people stop watching after episode 2 or 3, right? And mind you, most people don't even start in episode 1. But this person, this World of Ioverse, they are. I'm looking through. Their videos are consistently getting anywhere between 10 to 40k views for a Let's Play, like a D&D Let's Play channel. Like, that is bananas. Oh my! I'm like scrolling through right now. They had another hardcore campaign that they ran. And even up until episode 13 of that Let's Play, they were getting 49,000 views. Like, that is monstrous. That is ridiculous. So good on them. Can you give more details about the West March? Absolutely. Let me pull up some info for you. Humble. We're doing 3d6 for stats, no rerolls. Woo-wee! No con mod for HP, roll HP every level. Mamma mia, that is hardcore. Alrighty, so Humble, here is the pitch for this campaign. You and many other adventurers, travelers, traders, merchants, whatever, find yourselves randomly teleported to the bottom of a dungeon. You teleport down, and there you are. You're just one day you were, doing whatever it is that you were doing in life. Next thing you know, you're at the bottom of this dungeon. You and this group of other people that were teleported are now then travel a little bit in this dungeon and find a town full of other people that are in the same predicament as you. You were teleported to the bottom of this dungeon, and you find yourself in this town here. This town is called Little Hope. So, the name of this campaign is simple. You are at the bottom of this dungeon. You want to escape. You want to return back to the surface. You want to taste freedom once again. So with that, you, alongside the plucky other adventurers that want to earn their freedom, to taste the fresh air, to see the sun and the skies above, you're going to join them and hack and slash your way through this dungeon. I say hack and slash. You theoretically don't have to hack and slash. There could be other ways to get out of this dungeon. But ultimately, that's the end goal. This dungeon is big. How big is it? No one knows. Up until just recently, when all these plucky adventurers started teleporting, the majority of the people that live in this village, or the town of Little Hope, the majority of those people are commoners. They are just everyday peasants. And surprise, surprise, most peasants, if they were teleported to the bottom of a dungeon filled with monsters, they're probably not likely to, brandish their arms and start, trying to climb their way up. Most people are going to settle in their everyday life. So that is the end goal, is you're at the bottom of this dungeon, you're trying to get more powerful, you're trying to get stronger, you're trying to find a way out of this dungeon, and that how you do that is by your own devices, how you choose to explore, adventure, get more powerful, and how other people do. It's a collaborative effort. You're all working together. You're all trying to earn that sweet, sweet freedom. So you're all working together and climbing your way to the top. Escape Little Hope and find Big Hope. Exactly. Exactly. So that is the pitch of the campaign. You are trying to escape this dungeon, and that's the end of the story. What I will say is, the only thing you would know about this dungeon is that this is clearly a dwarven ruin. While the town itself was built on top of a ruin, the majority of it has been retrofitted with more modern things because people were transporting lumber, teleported down. Now they've got lumber, people moving stone, people moving whatever. So the town itself is, more more outsider, made. But you're in a dwarven ruins. So people know for a fact that this place used to be owned by dwarves, but it's been ruined, and no one knows why. So, in regards of how you go about, doing this, game is when you create your character, you join a guild, and that guild you join will have several things tied to it. That guild will increase some of your stats, and eventually, as you rank up through the guild, you will eventually get more access to cool things like special abilities, perks, a whole bunch of fun jazz like that. And through those guilds, you'll also be given quests and a whole bunch of things like that. Delicious and Dungeon in reverse. Exactly. It is actually very much so Delicious and Dungeon. But instead of trying to climb your way all the way to the bottom, you are trying to climb your way all the way back up to the top. Sounds fun. I certainly hope it will be. This is not my first rodeo, mind you. I have run other West Marches games before, and so I know a little bit about what I'm doing. I'm not going to say I'm an expert. I do not want to toot my own horn here, but I do know that I have a whole bunch of individual goals for players. I have a whole bunch of group goals for players. Depending on the guild that you join, you want to advance your guild individually, and then like as your other guild members also want to advance the guild, and then of course there's the overall group goal for the entire everything. You allowing homebrew? Certainly not. Whatever rules I have listed are as follows. So the only homebrew I'm allowing is my own homebrew. That's the end of story. The problem with allowing homebrew outside of, when you're running a West Marches game is that the checks and balances are forever because if you allow one person to have homebrew, then everyone starts trying to get some homebrew, is what it is. Is what it is. And it's funny, I'm typically, when it comes to running like most games, I'm typically against players bringing their own homebrew. And I don't know where that stemmed from. Actually, I do know where that stemmed from. What am I saying? That stemmed from No Kitsune Death Knight LOL. Exactly right. That probably stemmed from early on in my DMing career. I did, in fact, have a lot of people trying to bring their homebrews and natively just imbalance the game to a monstrous degree. Now, that being said, when it comes to me running the game, is that I do have a whole bunch of homebrew. No matter what system I'm running, I always have homebrew. Are you using VTT or is it Theater of the Mind? This is virtual tabletop. Yes, David. This image you see behind you here, this is actually Roll20. So let me try and. So this whole game is going to be in the Roll20 here. If I see someone link D&D Wiki, it's an auto no for me. Exactly. Why homebrew when flavor is free? Yeah, so a per example being when it comes to like homebrew, versus flavor is like you can be a fighter in this, and I don't care if you're a samurai or a Viking or a medieval European knight. I don't care so long as you're a fighter, right? And that can go on for any number of things. So the flavor you bring entirely up to you. I don't care. So long as you're not like stepping on anyone's toes. You're not doing anything too outrageous here. But yeah, that I'm perfectly fine with. I typically homebrew lore and rarely touch mechanics. I'm both. I definitely do both. I definitely touch mechanics extensively, depending on the individual like adventure that I'm running, and then definitely the lore as well. I think that like me in particular, I run a lot of games. So the more games I run, and the more I see the same mechanics, the more it becomes more stale to me. So I always enjoy touching things up. And in fact, I've actually got a video that I'm going to be working on pretty soon here about the top 10 homebrew rules to incorporate in your one D&D experience. Although I'll probably release that more when one D&D comes out. When does one D&D come out? September of 2024. June, July, August. Okay, I've got some time. I got some time. Yep, September. It's funny. There was a person that made a video on how the DMG, or no, not the DMG. Someone made a video criticizing D&D, and it was really funny because one person in the comments, this person made this video, and then a video or two later they made a video talking about like refuting some of the claims people were doing in the comment section. And it was funny. One of the people in the comment section of the original video said, "Oh, your claims are invalid. They said that they're going to play test once they do the player's handbook. They're going to revise the DMG, and the DMG comes out only, I think, one D&D DMG release date. That comes out in November." And so, we get the player's handbook in September, and then we get the DMG in November. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what happens when it comes to, player feedback and all that with the player's handbook, because there is no way that they are going to change anything in the span of 2 months. The DMG is going to be set in stone well before then because of how incredibly long it takes to send the PDF to the place to get it publishing. Then they, of course, make hundreds of thousands of DMGs, and then those DMGs will have to be sent all over the world. Like that's not going to happen in 2 months. So it was really funny seeing like someone not, understanding that, the things are set in stone a little bit longer before you think they are. I like to homebrew character classes and races, but I like it when they look like they could have been a part of an official book. They already have all 3 books mass printed. Exactly right. Yeah, I think that's also one of my areas too of when it comes to homebrewing races and classes and things like that is I want them to be in line with what I envision the tabletop role-playing game to be. Now, that being said, there are times where, looking at the system, sometimes the power level is so low that I want it to be higher, and thus I homebrew it to be higher. Sometimes the power level is too high, and thus I knock it down a peg. There's several instances of that. So I don't always go in line with whatever the handbook has it. Oh. So I mean, if any of y'all actually want to roll up your character right now for this adventure, you are more than welcome to join. In my Discord, there you will see that in the Guilds and Gargoyles section, there is a game invite tab, and if you click it, you can join up this Roll20 game now. You can get to rolling them bones. Should you desire. I'm not forcing you. I can't force you, unfortunately. I can't tie you up and throw you in my basement. It's not really a feasible option for me right now. It's essentials, right? Yes, this is using old school essentials, but I do have my own homebrew rules attached to it, and those are all found in the Discord there. Still thinking what to roll. Can roll stats, then ponder. Yeah, in fact, David, you have to roll your stats because how the rolling stats before you can ponder works, or roll stats and then ponder works, is this is 3d6 down the line. And then you can swap 2 of your stats should you desire. So there is no, oh, am I going to be this or that? You gotta work with what you got. That being said, and there are several things to note about stats. First off, I haven't played Essentials before. Well, you're in luck because it's pretty simple. You're in luck because if you played D&D, you know how to play this game. Stat min for classes, right? There are some stat minimums for classes, but they're typically a 9. So, like, on average, you are going to meet the stat minimum for whatever class you want to play. Like, let me double check here, but if I remember correctly, there is no like, oh, you need to have a 17 in a class or anything crazy like that. Yeah, literally, yeah. So whatever class you look at, they typically have a minimum. Not all of them, though, mind you. There is a bunch of classes that you can just play, but any class that you'd want to play, you'd probably want higher stats than that anyway. But with 3d6, on average, you get a 9. So, yeah, it's pretty easy. There's also 2 things to note about stats. One, so you roll up your character, you pick your class, or whatever, but you join a guild. And the guild is the important one, because that guild will give you a +1 to 2 stats. So if you're thinking about like, oh, I want to build this character, or, I want to play this kind of, archetype or whatever, then look through those guilds and you'll find a guild that'll probably prop up the stat that you want propped up. Look at that. David rolling hot. David, you just got a 11, 5, 13, 10, 10, 12. Let me give you a character sheet for this monumental occasion here. Let me give you that character sheet here. Boom, boom. And we can log in your stuff. David G. Boom. Boom, boom. Look at that. That is not a bad stat line. I will say, if you keep that stat line, that's a perfectly good stat line. You can just be the non-intelligent whatever. You don't intelligence is for the birds with this class or with this role. Thank you, good sir. No problem, no problem. So yeah, so you can keep that, or if you want, you can swap any of those 2 stats. Like, for example, you have that 13 in wisdom. You could swap that 13 anywhere, and mind you, that 13 is a +1, so that's the one you probably want the high stat to be in. But as a reminder, that guild that you join is going to give you a +1 to 2 of your stats. So depending on where you want to lean in, that 12 could turn into a 13. So currently, right now, that 12 is in charisma, but you might, for instance, want to make that 12 into a strength, and then you pick one of the guilds that gives you a +1 to strength, and then boom, you've got a +1 to strength and wisdom, right? Entirely your prerogative. You've got options, and that's the important part. I can swap 2 stats placements, though. Correct. You can't put the stats wherever. No, this is 3d6 down the line. This is play what you are given. When you play what you are given and make it work, you make it work well. The important thing to consider is this is not... I believe, Soapy, you have not played a old school before. Old school essentials, anyway. The important thing to remember is that with 3d6 down the line, you on average are going to be perfectly fine. You do not need to have a +3 stat modifier. You do not need to have, ridiculously high stats everywhere. All you really need is to just not be like as long as you roll 9s to 12s everywhere, you are perfect. Like that's a good character. The only time you're really a bad character in old school is if you have a minus to several stats, and like depending on the class that you play, that'll be impactful, right? Like if you have a minus to con and strength and you want to play a fighter, that's obviously not going to be good. But a +0 is perfectly acceptable. Because in mind you, when comparing this to 5e, in 5e 10 to 11 is a +0 modifier. In old school, it is 9 to 12 is a +0 modifier. So it's a little bit more even, as it were. You're not likely to have the plus, or you're not likely to have minuses everywhere. So yeah, look. I mean, you're in the Discord, so you can look through all those classes. There is plenty of classes to look through there. There's in the beginning 20 classes available. However, over the course of gameplay, more classes could be unlocked for use by the group. So lots of classes to choose from, lots of options to look at there. And when all else fails, you can just always roll up a fighter. Because fighters are forever useful. More importantly, if you choose to not switch your stats, or switch that intelligence around, that 5 intelligence is going to probably prohibit you from being a good magic user. I'm trying to think what I would do with that stat line. Trying to think what I would do. Oh, we got Soapy rolling. I saw it. Soapy's going to start rolling up something here. Look at that. So, Soapy, what I will say is your stats are an enigma. Your stats are -1s across 3 stats, but then a +2 to 1. So what else? I'll make you an executive decision here, Soapy. I'll make an executive decision here. You can either keep that because a 16 is pretty freaking awesome, or you can reroll. Because unfortunately, -1s across 3 stats is incredibly weird, but a 16 is really freaking good, depending on what the heck you want to be. So I will make that executive decision and say that you can reroll. Let's see. I see all the class write-ups. Are there core rules somewhere so I can brush up on the game? Yeah, there is. Let me find them for you. But the game is simple. There's not. I mean, it's you play D&D. You know how to play this. Druid is my go-to. Yeah, let me find the core rules here. There you go. I just posted up the free rules there. Pretty simple stuff. If I reroll, it's going to be all 6s, 7s, and a 3. My luck anyway. But like I said, the 16 is really good, right? Like if you want to go for a class that, mind you, if you're in the Discord, you're in the Discord, obviously. When you look through those classes, there's some classes that only want 1 stat. So you could make that 16, into something good. Also, very importantly, is you get the +1 to 2 stats. You could take those +1 to 2 stats and turn them into, you could turn them into 9s, and so that way you're not suffering all over the place. You've got a lot of options, is what I'm going to say. Also, very importantly, is when you start to adventure, one of the things you can do is for the cost of money, you can improve your stats. So if you look there in my downtime activities little list there in the Discord, one of the downtime activities you can do is for 2,000 gold, you can improve a stat by 1. But the thing with that is that the cost doubles every time you do it. So, the second time it costs 4,000, third time it costs 8,000, etc., etc. So you can round out your stats so they're not +0s all over the place, or -1s or +0s all over the place. Entirely your prerogative. All right, I'm gonna try to finish up my workday. Apparently, listening no fun on full volume isn't allowed. Later, skaters. You know what? You should make it allowed. That's what I think. I think it should be allowed. Anyway, Conrad, see you later. I'm going to keep. Cool. So you're keeping that stat line. I just gave you a character sheet so you can access that. So your choice. You can move that 16 around wherever the frick you want. You can figure out what the heck you're going to do with that. It looks bad natively, but you've got options. Trust me, you got some good options. Once again, looking at the air quote boring route of the fighter, if you went the route of the fighter, you could turn the 16 into the strength, and then you could pick one of the one of the things that bumps your con up, so your con doesn't take a dip on the HP meter there, and then you've got a really good fighter. If you got a fighter that's 16 strength and 0 con, that's a solid fighter. But then, of course, looking at all the other routes, you got plenty of other options too. You could go down the route of the magic user. You could go down the route of whatever. There's 20 classes to choose from. I'll put it in con. That's not a terrible option either, is what I'll say. Having a high con is pretty substantial. Like if you have a +2 to your HP every time you level up, like that's nothing to sneeze at. That's going to be monstrous. Very few people are given that privilege. Very few. Yeah, so yeah, look through there on the Discord there for all those classes. There is bound to be something that strikes your fancy looking through those classes, right? Like you could be the funny acrobat that carries around your acrobatics pole. You could be the bard who plays all the fun things. You could be you could be I mean you could be an elf technically. I think. Yeah, you could be an elf. You could be a half elf. You could be a gnome. There you go. You could be a gnome. That could be something. You've got options. Don't. It starts off looking weird, but it gets better. I'm just going to. Just put it on your character sheet in case you got to dip out or something. Alrighty. I'm actually curious now. I think I've got a lot of people in this game now. Let me take a look here. Yeah, look at that. I've got 13 players who've signed up for this game so far, and mind you, I haven't even made the video about it yet. I'm hoping that when I make a video about running this game, I get a few more contenders too. I think that'd be badass. Also, I should get rid of the grid on this map. Actually, hold up. Currently, it's at 5 feet. How big should the scale of this map be? Just make it 5 meters for now. How big are these buildings? Let's make it. Let's make it a 15. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like if I do that. Also, get rid of the grid. Where's that grid? There it is. Does this seem reasonable if it is a 15 meters? I think it's reasonable. The road's 8 meters on average. Yeah, I think this is a good scale. Maybe I'd have to adjust it just a little bit. Maybe. I think that's good for now. I think the scale's good. Alrighty. So I've got that going on. Oh God. Okay. Good to go there. What else? What else? Yeah. Oh, I need to create a checkbox of the things I have left to do for this campaign. So I use Notion for that. Notion is a fantastic note-taking and work overview sort of system. Um, let's. No. Notion is hey Con Pally, yeah, there you go. I use it for some game design docs. Yeah, it's fantastic. Notion is really great for the fact that it's free. I know there's a paid version, and I'm sure that does a lot more for it. But even just the free version is just a fantastic way to keep all of your things in a row. Let me make a new thing for this. G&G Little Hope West Marches. And I need to add a cover picture because if I don't have a cover picture, it irks me for whatever reason. Don't know why. I just need to have a picture there. I need it. And let's add some bulletins. Let's see. To do player intro write up. This is great for flowcharts. I don't think I've used it for flowcharts yet. I don't think I've really had a need for using it for a flowchart. None of my work entails flowcharts, or maybe they have, and I just haven't used a flowchart. Player intro write up. What else do I need to do? Guild downtime activities. Guild quest. What else? What else? What else? No, it's a website. Talking about this one, right? Notion? The one I'm using right now? Got a whole bunch of things for all my various activities here. Also, I'm in the way. Curse me for being in the way. How the heck do I grab me? There we go. Guild player intro write up, guild downtime activities, guild quest. No. Are you talking about Flowcharts is a website? Is that what you're saying? I'm so confused. I'm lost in the sauce. Oh, game design docs? Is that what you're referring to? I don't know. I'm lost. I can't keep up. I'm so bad at this. Player intro write up, guild downtime activities, guild quests. Player map location. Draw.io. Did you ever say that? Draw.io. Draw.io. Decide later. Whoa, what is this? I've never used this before. What the heck? Oh, I see. I think what happened is I think you might have like written draw.io, but it like YouTube canceled it because you were trying to post a link or something. That might be what it was. What is this? So you just have a thing. Can you type in it? I assume you can. Oh, wow. And then what can you do? You can... Oh, look at that. Oh, whoa, this, okay. I'm down for this. This is being added to my repertoire. I will tell you that now. Draw.io, I have not touched it, but let me tell you, I can already tell I'm liking it. To create a visual flowchart, because that really helps me out. That is incredible. Okay, I am very thankful that you showed me the error of my ways of not knowing what Draw.io is, because that is awesome. That is awesome. Okay, adding that to the list of websites I will be using frequently. Thank you very much, Soapy. Thank you. Yeah, player map locations. It's a good thing I showed up today. It's a good thing you did. It is. I'm very happy to have that in my arsenal now. That is very good to know. It's funny because I typically ended up doing that, but I'd have to do it in a very obtuse way. But that looks like it does it in a non-obtuse way. That is awesome. What else? Player map location. Intro video. I pretty much like have like dang near everything I'd want to like start running this adventure, or start running not just this adventure, but running the this campaign for folks. Not really much else I can really think of. You can color everything too? Okay, that's awesome. That is awesome. Oh, good lordy, I can tell. I'm going to be using this extensively. That is awesome. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm going to be using and abusing this. Do you play D&D? Yes. Good. Okay, how do you get the second arrow? There we go. No. You're wrong. Play D&D. Alrighty. Okay, okay. You can export as a PDF too. Whoa! Oh Lord, this is gonna be good. Oh Lordy. So there's my quick write up there. Do you play D&D? Yes. Good. No. You're wrong. Play D&D. It's that simple. Alrighty. That is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This thing is going to help me with so many things. You can do a person? Okay, that's great. That is fantastic. Can you create unlimited with this for free? Like, there's got to be a reason why you have to spend money, right? Like, they have to have some way for you to spend money on this. Like, there's no way they're hosting this for free. But regardless, yeah, that's some good stuff here. Free? Wowzers. Okay. So this thing is creating some cryptocurrency in the background, but I don't really mind. As long as I get to use this free stuff, I'm good to go. Don't really care. Alrighty. Yeah, that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff. I mean, I can't really think of any, like, I'm trying to think of anything else that I need to convey to players to play this game. I really can't think of any. I've got pretty much everything that I could think. That's my problem, is I've got everything I can think of, but I'm probably going to be missing something. What the heck could I be missing? Cash money. Oh, that's right. I need to place somewhere. I need to put it somewhere that this is a pay to win game. If you pay me money, I will give you level ups. For every $100, you get one level up. Steep, I know, but hey, I gotta have some integrity. There is no microtransactions here. There's only macro transactions. Actually, that's not true. I would absolutely have microtransactions in my game. For every $1, you get 10 gold. I'd be okay with that. $1 gets you 10 gold coins. $100 gets you a free level up. Air quote free. That's what I'm gonna have. Alrighty. Alrighty. I'm actually curious. I'm gonna look at all the characters. Let's see what we got floating around here. We got... Let's see, Wexton has a elf. Ooh, an elf. Oh, wow. They're actually a pretty good elf. They have a plus strength, a plus intelligence, a plus con, at the low cost of having a minus charisma. Okay, so an elf. We got a dwarf here, who's only one stat off from getting that strength up. So that's really good. They only have to fork over 2,000 gold, and they will have themselves a +2 strength dwarf. That is, and a +1 strength plus con. That's really good. Conrad has their stats plugged in, but hasn't decided what class they're going to be, unless they're going to be a cleric, which I think they're going to be. Actually, yeah, they're probably going to be a cleric. Good to know. Let's see this Quaven character here. A gnome. A gnome with minus strength. Oh. But look at that. 16 intelligence. Oof, that dex is close. That dex is close to getting that sweet, sweet +2. Anne Marie Bayard. A paladin. Whoo. A paladin with +1 con. And they're not terribly far off from getting that +2 strength. Oh yeah, I'm going to look to see if anyone wrote down their guilds. Howdy, just finished watching your Wild Beyond the Witchlight videos. Really helped me party have more fun. Thanks. No problem, Shadowverse. No problem at all. Shadowversey. How's it going? That, Wild Beyond the Witchlight is my... Like, I've got a category for my most favorite 5e adventure module, which is like if I just say 5e adventure module, I'll natively say Tomb of Annihilation. However, specifically, my favorite 5e adventure is Wild Beyond the Witchlight. And the reason I make that distinction is because Wild Beyond the Witchlight leans into 5e's mechanics, and it makes it an incredibly enjoyable adventure. Versus, funnily enough, Tomb of Annihilation, my most favorite adventure module, it actually doesn't really lean into 5e's mechanics at all. In fact, I would say it even goes against 5e's mechanics. But ultimately, Wild Beyond the Witchlight, it definitely holds a beautiful place in my heart because I think it's an enjoyable one. So yeah, let me take a look here. Do they have notes? Nope. So I'm glad to hear that you got some good out of it. Let's see, they got all their things for dwarf. Oh, here we go. Ooh, they joined the Golden Order. Okay. That is 1 for the Golden Order. Conrad, did you write down what guild you joined? I'm going to have like some sort of spreadsheet of like all these characters once I start running the game. Like I'm going to see how many characters are going to be joining what guilds and who's getting what level ups and all that. Because it'd be really fun. Shadowversey, and also if you're unfamiliar with what's going on here, I'm running a West Marches campaign for anyone and everyone to join in. If you want to join in on the adventures, then feel free to join the Discord. Link down below. Alrighty, so Conrad doesn't have that. Quaven's got their items, languages, doesn't have their guild. Anne Marie Bayard, however, did join the Princess's Guard. So we've got 1 for the Golden Order, 1 for the Princess's Guard. Cool stuff. Tracy L. Okay. Has their stats down. I don't know if they've declared that they're a cleric or not, because cleric is the default on all these character sheets, so it's hard to tell if people like choose cleric or if they just leave it as is. Nope, they are definitely cleric. They have turn undead and all that fun jazz. Perfect. Any notes? Base stats. They swapped. They joined the light and the darkness. Okay, we've got a variety of guilds people here. That's good. Bondus the Halfling. Okay. Bondus the Halfling. Oh, wow! 16 strength. Woo-wee! And a +1 dex, too. Oh, my goodness. That's pretty freaking good. Swapping ability rolls. Swap strength and con. Got it. They joined the Golden Order. Okay. We've got 2 for the Golden Order. Meta DM has not written down. Benjamin B has not written down. Should check the notes for this one. Nope. Who's this blank character? Whoever they are a I can see who. This is Shield of Eyes. Okay, Shield of Eyes is a magic user. 16 intelligence, not bad. Minus wisdom, minus charisma, but hey, you're a wizard, you don't care about that stuff. And they have joined the Magicians Guild, I believe. Looks to be about right. David G. Druid. Look at that beautiful 5 intelligence. You don't need intelligence. Intelligence is overrated. Just gets in the way. And Soapy. Soapy with that beautiful 16. Oh, 16 so good. Alrighty. Okay. We are cooking. Druids don't like books anyway. You know what? Books are a front to druids, right? You're destroying perfectly good trees. You know, that sounds like an anti-druid practice to me, is making books. Yeah, it's funny. Druids are actually really solid in old school. They aren't the shapeshifters like from 5e, so they don't have that tool set, as it were. They're not like no metal armors, no books exactly, but they do have the unique spellcasting of Druid, right? And Druid spellcasters are really dope. Also, very interesting is. All right, man. Got a debate to go watch? No problem. I'm looking through Druid class. See you later, Soapy. See you later. I'm looking through the Druid spell. Not until level 7th, I think. Looking through. Druids gain a +2 bonus to saving throws against lightning and fire. That's actually pretty cool. They can identify all plants and animals and can discern pure water. That's pretty useful if you're on wherever, you're exploring around in this mega dungeon. You don't pick up the poisonous plant. That's very good. They know the secret language of druids. At each level above 2nd, a druid learns to speak a language used by creatures of Sylvan Forest. That's pretty cool. Eventually, they can pass without a trace. Character can pass through natural environs without leaving any tracks. The character also is able to move through overgrown areas at normal speed without impediment. Pretty cool. Pathfinding. The druid only has a party with a druid only has a 1 to 6 chance of getting lost in woodland areas. So what we'll tell you is, even though this is underground, I will tell you. I will tell you that there is actually there's a pretty good chance that there's some woodlands floating around here. So that will not go to waste in this campaign. I promise you. And eventually, at 7th level, they can change shape. Reptile, bird, mammal. The animal may be of any size up to around twice the bulk of the druid's normal form. If a druid has lost hit points, they regain 1d4 hit points per level upon changing into an animal. All in my at 7th level, that'd be 7d4, so that's pretty freaking solid. All equipment and carried are absorbed into the creature. Cool stuff. And at 12th level, at the pinnacle of druiddom, there can only be 9 druids of 12th level. When a druid has enough experience to reach 12th level, they must challenge an existing 12th level druid. The challenge may the character only advances to 12th level if the other druid is defeated. Such challenges may take any form that is agreed by both parties, including combat, which need not be fatal. Likewise, there can only be 3 druids of 13th level and only a single druid of 14th level. Druids who attain 12th level or above may build a stronghold, integrate it into a natural setting. So, with that, your 11th level, you just hit 12th level, then you gotta beat down some other druid. Doesn't have to be for combat, mind you. This could be a game of chance, it could be a game of wits, could be anything. But boom, you get that 12th level, and then you are able to build your stronghold in a natural setting. Pretty dope. Pretty freaking dope. I'm actually really looking forward to the stronghold play as well. Depending on the class that you are, you gain access to building your stronghold at different levels. For the druid actually has I know for a fact that the druid has the hardest condition to gaining their stronghold. You have to be 12th level, which requires you to, one, get to 12th level, which is a lot of XP. It's 300,000 XP. A race through the woods, there you go. You have to get to the 12th level through the XP. You have to beat that druid, and then you have to build that stronghold. But if you look at the other classes do not have that issue. Like Cleric, for example. Cleric only has to get to 9th level. And it's really funny. When the Cleric goes to build their stronghold at 9th level, it states specifically that so long as the Cleric is currently in the favor of their god, the stronghold may be bought or built at half the normal price due to divine intervention. That Charisma 5 is really going to help too. Wait, is that what you're choosing to swap your stats with? I'm curious. So the Cleric, they can build the stronghold at 9th level and it's half price. Good for them. The Dwarf, I want to say, is 8th level? No, the Dwarf is also 9th level. There's someone that's 8th level. I want to say, it's the Halfling. The Halfling, let me take a look here. Anytime a Halfling wishes and has sufficient money, they may build a stronghold, which will form the basis of their new community of Halflings. Halfling communities, known as shires, are typically located in gentle countryside of little rivers and rolling hills. The leader of the community is called the sheriff. Alright, I was thinking about that. 5 int for now. So, wow, a halfling? They just need the cash and then they can start building their community and they can be the sheriff in town. That's pretty cool. What about the knight? I think the knight also has something unique. Oh, here we go. Anytime a knight of 3rd level or higher wishes and has sufficient money, they can build a castle or stronghold and control the surrounding lands. The permission of the Knight's Liege is always required. However, after reaching 9th level, a knight may be granted a title such as Baron or Baroness. The land under the knight's control is then known as a barony. Cool stuff. I'm really looking forward to people getting to that level and building up their strongholds in this dungeon, because that'll further cement their control over. Well, spoiler alert. So basically, this campaign in the beginning, the group has no control over the dungeon. What I suspect is going to happen is the group is going to exert their control over the dungeon. That's what I suspect is going to happen. Because as of right now, you got like the humanity, for a better sense, versus the monsters in this dungeon. They only control this small little town in this big dungeon. I imagine that the humans are going to start spreading and controlling the environment. So you're a druid. Which guild are you going to join? Because the guild that you join is, it's going to increase your stats, and it's going to possibly change your character's prerogative. You potentially will be driven down certain different paths depending on what kind of druid you're going to be. I am curious to know. Oh, meanwhile, I'm just like looking at all these classes. I'm thinking like, man, what I'm wondering what classes are going to rise and shine in this campaign. Looking at Explorers Guild, huh? Okay. I think that makes sense, Will help min-max getting me some languages as well. True. True. Also, I haven't posted them up yet, but once the gameplay starts, like once the campaign actually starts, each of the guilds are going to be posting up their own respective quests that you'll be partaking in the dungeon. And, maybe yours will be more in line with, exploring the unexplored and cleansing out the filth from the land. Actually, we got a paladin in the game. I'm trying to remember what happens to the paladin. Did the paladin get the same treatment for their thing? After reaching 9th level, with the permission of their holy order, a paladin can build a castle or stronghold and control the surrounding lands. The paladin may be granted a title such as Baron or Baroness. Cool. They're essentially like a knight. Cool stuff. I believe there's a class that isn't allowed to build a stronghold. I think it's the Ranger? Yeah, let me take a look. After reaching 10th level, 2d12 beings will join the Ranger as followers. Yeah, so the Ranger is never allowed to build a stronghold. The Ranger is forever tethered to the wilds and thus cannot build a home of their own. Cool. What I'm really concerned about is the thieves. Because I know for a fact some people are going to build some sort of thieves of some repute, and then when they go to build their strongholds, they're going to build some thiefy, steal people, steal things, guilds. So that'll be very entertaining, but very scary. Well. Actually, David, since you're here, you might as well roll up for your starting gold, because you've got some gold to roll up. As a reminder, you start up with 3d6 times 10 gold. But mind you, thankfully, druids are not gold thirsty in the for their characters. because you're not going for plate armor, you're not going for a spell book or anything like that. So druids, thankfully, 70 gold. You know what? 70 gold. Here's the thing: you're poor, yes, but you don't need gold. What are you gonna buy? So you're gonna buy leather armor. What else do you need? I assume you need some sort of thing. You need a holy symbol. Yeah, so you need a holy symbol. Um, but then, yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't need much. You just need your armor, your weapon, your divine your holy symbol, some little trinkets here and there. You're good to go. I'm trying to remember how much does a holy symbol cost. I want to say it's like 10 gold. It's not even that bad, I don't think. As I look through. No, holy symbol is 25 gold. Mamma mia. Okay, so the holy symbol's cutting holy symbol is cutting you back pretty hard. Yes. But actually now that I think about it. All right, so holy symbol 25. Shield 35. Leather armor I want to say is 20 off the top of my head. Let me double check here. Yeah, leather's 20, so that's so we're already at 55 just from your shield, holy symbol, armor, and then of course you want to probably buy a weapon of some repute. You might just go slings, honestly. You know, it entirely depends on you. Um, oh, interesting. So I just now realized this. Druids are actually a D6 class, which is really good compared to a magic user, which is only a D4. Sling and club, there you go. So you got a tiny bit of gold left over, just a teensy bit. Okay, they are true spellcasters, or they're true non-martial. They only go up every 5 levels, every 5th level, I should say. Okay, I did not. I thought druids were also a D4 class like magic users, but druids got a little bit more meat on them, which is really good to know. Really good to know. Okay. Okay, I swapped charisma and dex, and with guild buff, I'm up to 14 whiz and 13 dex. And mind you, as you know, in the system, all dex is good because no matter what your armor and weapons and whatever you're wearing, your AC will go up. So that's pretty good. Having your dex be high is not bad at all. Okay, okay. And they only, man, druids are like hella good. I'm just like, I'm just now realizing, like, I'm looking through all the druid stuff. Druid's actually hella good. Like, that is absurd that they are a D6 class. They get to wear some armor. They only need 2,000 XP to level up right away. That's just like on par to the magic user. Like, they are solid. It's just a matter of their spell selection is a bit different, of course. But the druid spell list is pretty solid from what I remember. I'm gonna go check it out right now. Yeah, let me check out this druid spell list here. Fast XP progress, at least first. Yeah, it is. Animal friendship, detect danger, entangle, fairy fire, invisibility to animals, locate plant or animal, predict weather, and speak with animals. Okay, so there's nothing offensive at first level. Like, there's no I kill you spell. But ultimately, there are some good spells here. Like Entangle. Entangle isn't a I kill you spell. Entangle is my friends kill you spell. Like, Entangle is a really good spell. Fairy Fire as well, I think, is also a my friends kill you kind of spell. Yeah, attacks against targets get a +2 bonus to hit. So that is absurd. Speak with animals is also incredible, depending on the environment. If you know you're going to a place with animals, you can weasel your way out of some stuff. Pretty solid. Okay, so that's the trade-off, I suppose. Magic users like have the I kill you spells, like magic missiles and sleeps and whatnot. Druids don't, but that's okay. They don't need it. Also, something very important is, of course, the spells in the traditional rules are going to be there as is, but there will be additional spells added throughout the game. I'm looking through here. Barkskin. The caster subject's AC improves by 1. Okay. AFK a bit. Wife just got home. Fair. Oh, they get cure light wounds at 2nd level. Interesting. Heat metal. Okay. Scare miss. Produce flame. Caster is unharmed by the flame. Flammable objects catch fire. Okay. Slow poison. As long as the subject has more than 1 HP, the slowed poison inflicts 1 HP of damage per turn. If the subject is at 1 HP, the poison inflicts no further damage. Interesting. Can be revived by... Characters killed by poison can be revived by this spell. Wow! Okay, slow poison is a really good spell. I am now realizing. Oh, the full effects of the poison occur if the subject was revived by death from death by the spell. They die once more. Okay, it's not as good. It's not as good. But I see the application. Let's see. Warp wood. Okay, eventually they call lightning, growth of nature, double the size of an animal. Oh, it's awesome. Hold animal, solid. Protection from poison, big deal. Tree shape. Yeah, that's a weird one. Water, air breathing. Cure serious wounds, dispel magic. Speak of plants, summon animals. No bugs. Total to the caster's hit die. Cool stuff. Temperature control. The temperature may be raised or lowered up to the full range of the temperature variance in the natural world. Oh, wow. Past plant. Caster steps into a tree, then instantly steps out of a tree in the same species in another location. The trunks of both trees must be large enough for the caster to fit inside. Okay. Okay. Druid's interesting. Druid is interesting, to say the least. Okay. Ay, Dios mío, no. Hmm. Okay. I can't really think of anything else I need to do because I've got, or at least anything I can do on stream, because there's some things I'm going to be doing that I can't do on stream because I don't want there to be spoilers for this adventure. Oh, I see another thing I have to do as well. So the Druid Holy Symbol, it says it must be a sprig of mistletoe, which the character must harvest. So would that still cost 25G? Does it say that? A druid must carry a holy symbol, sprig of mistletoe, which the character must harvest. Druids must be faithful to the tenets. Oh, yeah, I guess it wouldn't be 25 gold then. Yeah, I think druids are actually off the hook for that. Because if it's a sprig of mistletoe, which you can harvest, then there's no way it would be 25 gold. There's no way. So you know what? You lucked yourself out. You do have to be a penny pincher in this, a copper pincher. You absolutely do. Deity disfavors. Druids must be faithful to the tenets of their alignment and religion. Druids who fall from favor with their deity may incur penalties. So, several classes always have this thing of, like, if you go against this thing, you will be punished. In regards to that, when it there's some standard ones, like the Knight. The Knight simply states, chivalric code, dishonor. A knight who brings dishonor upon themselves or their liege, this may include changing alignment, may have their knighthood revoked. In this case, the character becomes a fighter of the equivalent level. It may be possible to regain the status of knighthood by performing a special quest. So that one's pretty self-explanatory. You know, if you're a knight and you do unknightly things, then you literally become a fighter until you earn that knighthood back. But then there's other things, like the clerics, like all the holy people. Like if they earn the ire of their deity or whatever, then they incur a penalty. I have not thought of a universal thing I'm going to be doing for this campaign. I think it will probably come down to individual things. Like if you're a cleric, and let's say you're in the deity disfavor. Clerics must be faithful to their tenets, clergy, and religion. Clerics who fall from favor from the deity may incur penalties. I think it's literally going to come down to individual things. Like, there'll be individual, like, maybe it'll be XP reduction. Maybe they'll be forced to go on a quest. Maybe they'll earn some stat penalty. The list goes on and on and on. Like, I think it'll always be what you did in that moment to earn the disfavor is going to get you X punishment. I don't think there's really any way I can police having so many different players, playing so many different classes, and potentially earning so much disfavor. But hopefully no one goes against their oaths and whatnot. Hopefully everyone is good and proper. Seems fair, yeah. I am nothing but fair. I'm fair to me. I'm not fair to the players. I'm fair to me. Alrighty. I mean, look at that, though. 13 players showing up to this game already, and I haven't even made an actual video about it. I'd say that's pretty good numbers for just word of mouth. How long have I been streaming? I have been streaming for 2.5 hours. Okay. I will continue streaming for another 5-10-ish minutes. And then I will head off. So if anyone has any questions, concerns, gripes, moans, complaints, general observations, or anything of the sort, feel free to express them. Feel free. As I'm looking through some things. And also another thing I noticed about druids, comparing them to magic users, is their spell level. Something I totally like. Glossed over my mind. Druids only get to 5th level spellcasting, versus magic users and their ilk get up to 6th level magic, 6th level casting. So I see why druids are a bit more front loaded compared to the magic user. Very interesting. I really like the asymmetrical design of a lot of these classes. I know modern games have eschewed the idea of asymmetric what do you call those things, classes, but I like it. I really do. I think it's unique. I think it also very much so encourages the group play when you have the fighter who's already awesome at level 1, and then you've got the magic user who's a loser at level 1. Like the fighter helps the magic user, and then eventually, as the years go on, as the levels go on, then the magic user helps the fighter. I think that the same change can be quite powerful for social and exploration encounters. Oh, absolutely. It absolutely can and will be. But the trick is you got to get the level 7 in the first place, and that requires you not dying. I don't know how much of a meat grinder this campaign is going to be. I don't intend for it to be a meat grinder. There will be difficult locations, difficult encounters, of course. But I'm not going to go out of my way to kill people. Drop 700. I will tell you this, David. I did run a West Marches campaign, and over the course of 82 sessions, there were 79 dead PCs. I did run a, that was air quote a meat grinder. Although, to be fair, though deaths weren't spread evenly 1-for-1 per session, there would be sessions where there would be a TPK, so a bunch of people would die, and then there'd be a bunch of sessions where no one would die. And then, obviously, occasionally, every once in a while, more and more people would, or like individuals would die on the sessions, but... Yep, half the fun is building characters so I won't get too attached. That's your own prerogative to be attached or not attached. All I ask is that you play to those character strengths and strengthen the group as a whole. As long as you're not dragging the team down, as it were. Oh, my freaking nose. Okay. Oh boy. Alrighty, I'm seriously just like, what am I missing? I can't think of anything else. Player intro, downtime activities, the quest, place for players to put maps. Gonna making a video about it next week. I can't think of anything else. Alright. Well, I think that is gonna wrap it up for me here. I have done my job. I have gotten some people into the game, talked to some peeps, had a good time. And I believe next week I can start running some games here because tomorrow I will get my schedule and that'll be Sunshine and Rainbows. So, that is going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you to my awesome patrons. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, doing all that fun jazz, because every little bit goes a long way. And I can't wait to see y'all next time. See ya!